Hello everybody! There have been a lot of various rumors, arguments, and other interesting information in the last few days. What will happen next to Boombl4? Who will be signed by Navi? Will it be Yekidar? Let's try to answer many of these questions today. Make sure to leave a like, as always, and let's get straight to it! Immediately after Boombl4 had been kicked, everyone started talking that now Yekidar has his one foot in Navi. Richard Lewis talked about it. Many pro players discussed it, and now there has been news that Navi is negotiating with Merrick. Well, essentially, it is a very cool option. Electronic or simple, one of them takes the captain's place. Yekidar continues to do his job, which he knows best. So, in fact, it turns out that Yekidar is an ideal option. He is not from Russia, although Russian speaking. Also, he is in the top 10 best players in the world according to HLTV. Nevertheless, only Thorin found one argument that completely destroys all these plans for a possible transfer. I don't want any fan to even think that Yekidar can switch to Navi. This will not happen under any circumstances. If he moves to Navi, it will be a complete violation of everything that the organization adheres to. Because Yekidar plays for Virtus Pro, which actually belongs to a Russian oligarch. Sanctions tell us that their team is evil. It's out of the game. In this case, Navi's money will go directly to the Russian economy. In general, this is the best transfer that Navi could manage to undertake. If they hadn't published all these statements, I would even have said, do it! I think this is a great move for both sides, especially if you want to continue speaking Russian. But this option will never happen. And finally, to destroy all these rumors, the operating director of Navi, Chaos, spoke out. He said that Navi is not negotiating about Yekidar.
Мы не ведем переговоры по Yekidar. Это первое.
So, abort the mission then? Who will become the new player in the Born to Win team? And in fact, the situation is as ambiguous as possible. There is not a single cool candidate who could immediately strengthen the team and lead it to victories. There are practically no non-Russian captains in the CIS, let alone Tier 1 worthy. The same goes for strong rifles. All of them are either from Russia or are in Russian organizations, which again contradicts the principles of Navi. According to the former CEO of Hellraisers, there are not so many options. Navi's decision is absolutely correct. This is an illustrative example when a player doesn't dictate the rules. Yes, the lineup is strong. Yes, we made it to the finals. But if madness begins to happen, the club easily says goodbye to the captain. Why are such replacements possible? If earlier, each replacement cost $200,000 to $300,000 for Navi, now, having an academy, they can easily get players additionally, as in the example with Bit. So what will happen next to Boombl4? Putting up for transfer awaits him. Potentially, many people may need a T1 level captain, even if they build a team from scratch. But this is only Europe. Don't forget about the ransom price and his wife's utter wish to live a high life. Okay, so what about options for replacing Boombl4? Many people talk about Yekidar, but he will move to Navi only if he becomes a free agent. Navi will never pay a Russian club. Some irrelevant players are unlikely to be taken, very old people and downed pilots too. Transfer is also unlikely. Therefore, either there will be a selection from the academy, or as a variant, there is some die young. So, it turns out that at the moment, there are only 3 possible ways of dealing with it. Some kind of sniper will take Simple's place, and Sasha will switch to the captain's place, which is very unlikely in my opinion. The second version is Some Die Young, but again, the last time he played on Tier 1 stage was more than 6 months ago. For me, Navi Jr. option works just fine in this situation. Either train Fear for the Tier 1 level and leave everything in the same place, or take Head Trick and retrain Electronic or Simple to take the lead. And what about Boombl4? This is what Overdrive, the main insider of the CIS region, says. Situation around Boombl4 is sad now, of course. Any option is a step back. And in some options, even 10 steps back. If you are looking for a team in the CIS, then of course, the best option to pick in a hurry is OneWin, which will provide him and his queen money they had been used to. From Europe, a good option is G2 and taking the place of Alexei B. This is the best choice for Boombl4. I think he has already contacted them and talked to Monesi. Yeah, that's right. It is an amazing option. Judging by the interview, Boombl4 has a very good English level. He speaks quite fluently. When Monesi was transferring, he had a much lower level. Even more, there are a lot of questions about Alexei right now. The result in the major is the proof of that. Judging by Nico's recent interviews, he is generally very much dissatisfied with what is happening in the team now. Furthermore, it seems that negotiations with Yekidar are not particularly progressing. Here's what Thorin says. The joke is that according to the information I get from behind the scenes of the pro scene, G2 may drop Yekidar because of the overlap of his roles with the roles of other players. This means that Nico and Hunter don't want anyone to overshadow them. Who even plays like Yekidar? This guy acts independently, takes out 2 rivals and invites teammates to a protected point. When Nico tries to be an entry fragger, he doesn't do it so boldly. Overall, something really big is waiting for us in the near future. In CIS, Boombl4 doesn't have many options. All teams have their own captains with their own structure. Take the chance and settle for a salary and 1 win with Flamey? Not the greatest future after the major finals. Also, just a few hours ago, news came from the Deserto portal which states that Navi is negotiating with Buster from Virtus Pro. If the club releases him as a free agent, he will become the 5th Navi player, and Electronic will take the place of captain. As always, we will be waiting for more news.